listeners. Welcome to our fifth episode of a brand new sixth season of My Own Business podcast. My name is Mia Gomez.
My name is Daniel Mata, and we will be the host for this episode. We want to give a special shout out to Studio G, powered by the Mike Loya Center for Innovation and Commerce, where we help current UTEP students and recent alumni grow their own businesses. Be your own boss.
In today's episode, we're joined by Chris Danek and Estefania Felix, who will talk about what Bessel is and why El Paso. Welcome.
If you guys could give us a little introduction, where you guys are from, where you studied, anything helps.
Thanks, Daniel. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm originally from the East Coast. I studied mechanical engineering in Washington, D.C., and then at Stanford University, where I did grad school. And I've been in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, ever since, working in medical device design and development. The reason I got down here to El Paso, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, is at Stanford I formed a lifelong friendship with Dr. Ryan Wicker, who's the founder of the Keck Center. Estefania?
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. We're so honored to be here. My name is Estefania Felix. I am the marketing and business development lead at Bessel. I was born and raised in Ciudad Juárez. My bachelor's is in communications from the Universidad Autónoma de Chihuahua, and I have an MBA from Universidad Autónoma de Ciudad Juárez. And I just moved here to El Paso like 3 years ago, and I'm very excited to promote this wonderful borderplex region.
That's wonderful. So we are going to go ahead and get kickstarted with the questions. So the dynamic, how is it going to be? I'm going to be asking questions to you, Chris, and then Daniel's going to ask you, Stefania. So we're going to kind of have, but feel free to join the conversation as well. Like if you want to add something else, and then it goes both ways. So with that being said, Chris, I wanted to ask you, and we're really curious about to get to know about the genesis of Bessel. So how or why did you guys decide to go ahead and go for MedTech?
My draw to engineering and to MedTech is to create solutions that are going to have a powerful impact. They're going to scale. And we're just providing an extension of that through Bessel, helping our clients create breakthroughs that scale. And I think that's a common vision that many teams have to work together to achieve their vision and to have a powerful impact.
Awesome. And then we did read about your guys' location at Silicon Valley and here in El Paso. So we're really curious about how does these two locations correlate to each other? Like,
so complementary. It's great to be in the heart of medtech innovation in Silicon Valley, but we all know that the ability, the technology, the talent is widespread. And so through Dr. Wicker and our partnership with the Keck Center and the teaching that I've done with him, I was introduced to El Paso, introduced to the students and the people of El Paso. And I came to understand that Bessel can take advantage of the deep well of resources in both talent and in technology through the students of UTEP and through the Keck Center. So we provide value to clients across the country from our technology center here in El Paso based on that. And we still are connected to the heartbeat of medtech innovation through Silicon Valley. And I think that Estefania will comment on how we'll serve also the thriving manufacturing of medical devices and advanced manufacturing in other industries here in the Borderplex region.
We were discussing, Chris and I, about this Borderplex region. I just searched some data about how El Paso and Juarez is the manufacturing hub with the fifth highest employment in North America. And this is data from the Economic Development Department at the city of El Paso. And I think on Bessel, our opportunity relies on how can we assess teams and the projects we can develop for them. Because the months that I've been working at Bessel, I think I realized that our ethos is simple. We empower teams and we help them on the projects that they're doing. They always have the answers from the projects they are developing, and increase expertise, teams nowadays feel so overwhelmed with the steps of each project. And that's where our company, well, Chris' company, works with teams. You know, we can help them track their progress. We can work on the fundamentals to help teams to thrive and to move forward.
On the topic of teams, how does Bessel's innovations play into R&B teams or R&D teams?
I think that's Chris' expertise.
Okay.
Thanks, Daniel and Estefania. So, look, I've spent my whole career on R&D teams, development teams that are cross-functional that include R&D, ops, quality, manufacturing, marketing for the voice of the customer, clinical, and we're bringing all of that experience to bear. And some of the things that we do in helping bring our expertise and teamwork into our clients who are developing breakthrough medical technologies are to focus on simple things. And as Estefania said, you know, most teams actually, they have the answers within. Sometimes they're too busy, overwhelmed to take a step back and think things through. So we might help in that way. But also, you know, focusing on the fundamentals. Have you identified a problem that's worth solving? And then are you bringing clinicians to help you shape the expertise of clinicians who focus their time and energy over their entire career to serving patients and trying to address the very problems that we would like to help? They can help shape and guide the development in an R&D team. And then the third thing is how we're most effective working together. And these are some fundamental things that we bring to every project we do, whether we're working on R&D and a piece of the project as a technical resource for the team, or whether we're helping build and guide teams themselves, or if we're providing additional resources and guidance to startup companies, which is essentially someone's trying to develop a breakthrough and build the company at the same time. A very high level of difficulty. And we've got expertise, and we love working with our partners in those things, and we focus on areas where we can bring an outsized impact.
Is that why you guys are here in El Paso? So you guys can have an outsized impact?
Yes, I mean, the value that we can bring to our customers with the things that we know, how we do them, and with the as I mentioned, the talent resources that are here. Starting with that, you know, I tell my students at UTEP, and I tell everyone I meet when they ask me about El Paso, we have a combination here of technical expertise, times creativity, times hard work. And so I would stack the engineers that we produce here at UTEP and that Bessel then is able to hire and provide value to our clients. I would stack them against engineers anywhere, in any school, any program. And I love it here. I love the students here. And I love being part of Dr. Wicker's vision to create opportunities for our students in the community of El Paso, which is why we opened our office here and have been hiring and building, and why I, as I met Estefania, realized that she can help us with the next phase of Bessel. Just like we help startups scale, Estefania has experience in various organizations helping them scale through early growing phases. We have a lot of value to offer, and now we can hit our stride. And I see a lot of potential here in 2024. I'm very grateful that Fanny joined our team and is a big part of our success going forward.
You know, guys, I must recognize that Chris took the leap to invest in this region. You know, he created jobs, and he's investing time and effort and to support this thriving ecosystem in El Paso.
Oh, speaking of ecosystems, how does Bessel's activities help grow the ecosystem here of MedTech in El Paso?
You know, one of the things I want to give a shout out to our first employee that we hired outside of me and my wife, who's the general manager of the company and was the catalyst for starting Bessel and wanting to scale it and scale our impact. Andres Gutierrez is a UTEP grad, master's in mechanical engineering. He was a Mike Loya fellow, and he did a certificate in additive manufacturing. And Andres introduced Bessel to the Mike Loya Center. So we're literally on the map. So anybody who's investing in their vision as an entrepreneur can reach us through the Mike Loya Center and click on the resources and people that want to help. So we help in that way. Bessel also helps support the ecosystem through our direct work with startups in El Paso and nationwide. But focusing on the regional ecosystem, I have a former student. He took Dr. Wicker's business creation and additive manufacturing class. Mm-hmm. So he's a kind of like a Keck Center success story and also a Bessel success story. Diego Fogel is the founder and CEO of Vertec Medical. His passion is to bring equity to healthcare using home screening and diagnosis for cancers. And he's developed innovative solutions in women's health and oral health, and it's all framed based on his belief that we need to provide access through the technologies that we have, so that we improve healthcare for everyone and people who are maybe left out of the healthcare system. So that's Vertec Medical and Diego Fogel. That's a homegrown startup. And as I mentioned, we're providing value to startups across the country. And we have a startup from two Louisiana dental innovators, dentists, who realize the value that Bessel brings, realizes the value of additive manufacturing, because we're using additive manufacturing in our solution and our partnership with the Keck Center. And they decided that they would like to headquarter in El Paso. So last year we formed the first startup that is headquartered in El Paso based on our influence. So those are two examples. And another example is that I give freely of my time to student entrepreneurs. And you can reach out to us, and then we'll repeat this later to make sure people get the message. But reach out to us through the Mike Loya Center, through Studio G, and I have office hours and advising to any student entrepreneurs who are trying to figure out how to move forward. And I'm very appreciative of all of the support that I've gotten throughout my career, and just want to continue to build that kind of environment in the ecosystem here that we see in other places. Silicon Valley is a tremendous ecosystem. If you want help and advice and guidance, you can probably connect with someone and have coffee with them later that week. There's an incredible passion to support people who have a vision and to help them move it forward, particularly when they don't know and others have the experience to help them along. And I see the same thing blossoming here in El Paso, and I want to be a part of that.
Another UTEP graduate that we have in our company, Cynthia, she's helping with the R&D efforts for this startup, and we're very grateful and proud that UTEP has this role on providing to this ecosystem and to this work environment.
It's truly honorable and honestly honorable what you guys are doing out there and helping out your guys' startups. And I think it really aligns with our mission with Studio G and the Mike Loya Center, which is impeccable. And you guys heard it from Chris, guys. Make sure to join Studio G so that you can get mentored by him. That would be really cool. So we're going to leave a link over here so that you can join Studio G, and then you can reach out to him if you need assistance in this area. With that being said, I'm really curious. I think this question goes for you, Estefania. How do you guys market or promote the startups that you guys get? Like, how does the creative aspect of the business goes about?
Well, we're supporting thought leadership strategy on LinkedIn directly with Chris' profile, where we compile these narrative stories about the startups that we help. And I think it's a great channel, LinkedIn, because it's the professional network that we're reaching. That's the target audience that we're pursuing, more C-level executives or startup founders. And we have found that LinkedIn is a great channel for that strategy. Also, the brand awareness to be in podcasts and magazines. Also, we just had 2 articles published last year in very specific magazines that talk about the work that we do with startups and the design phases. of launching a MedTech device. And we also have been featured in MedTech podcast, and that's the strategy that we're pursuing.
That's incredible.
Mhm.
And I would love to take this space for you to promote your guys' LinkedIn, any socials that you might have, so that we can put them in the screen as well.
Yes, you can follow us at besselco.co. That's our LinkedIn profile. I think that's the main strategy that we are pursuing right now, to be recognized as thought leaders on LinkedIn. And we are so grateful for this opportunity to showcase our expertise and well the work that we've done with some startups.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to repeat that, Bessel.co. And we're using LinkedIn almost exclusively to get the message out about the company. But one thing that we like to do is provide value with every post. And so you'll find a number of what I consider key tips or pro tips that I have for entrepreneurs, for technical teams, for people who are looking at various problems in their business. And so we strive to have actionable, valuable advice in every post. So I encourage to follow us and then also engage, right? The one thing that we see is a lot of engagement through liking, but I want to see how we can promote more conversations. And right now we're on LinkedIn for that, and I want to see the conversations that evolve. Folks can also contact us directly through the company, and our website is www.bessel.co. But as I mentioned, as Estefania mentioned, we're really find us and talk with us on LinkedIn. Thanks.
Perfect.
Hmm.
So you guys heard them. Make sure to go and follow them and reach out to them if you are interested in this topic. With that being said, Chris, I wanted to ask you, and we're really curious about it, what inspired Bessel's relentless drive to create value proposition to partners in the health and wellness sector?
I'm trained as an engineer, and I've worked in cross-functional teams in the health tech space for many years. And in this space, we're all consumed with a passion to make the lives of individual patients and people better. And many of us also are consumed with helping the healthcare profession to deliver better solutions, better care, better prevention through digital health and other means. And so we're just looking to fulfill that vision to create a powerful impact. And that underlies everything we do at Bessel, and it underlies everything that our clients do. Our whole field is focused on moving things forward and um, creating health and wellness breakthroughs.
Estefania, in your experience, or maybe whoever wants to answer this one, it's okay. What are some common pitfalls that you guys encounter, and how does Bessel help navigate those pitfalls from startups? Speaking about startups.
Well, I think that launching a startup can be a challenging endeavor, but also comes with really reading obstacles, such as not enough crowdfunding or cash flow, not you know being able to solve the problem that you're trying to pursue with this endeavor. And well, I think that this applies for all types of startups, not only medtech. And I see that my perspective is that we can provide technical tips to startups. Bessel is one part of the mission of the company, to provide these tips, to provide expertise through Chris' background and other the other founders that we have, the other guidance uh, experts that we have at the company. But we were discussing this question early this morning, and I think Chris has he has a great tip for that question.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to some fundamentals that all teams should be thinking about when they're moving things forward. And med tech, health tech, medical devices, diagnostics, no different. The first is, have you identified a problem that's worth solving? And in that regard, I will say this: we talk about patients first, putting the patient first in medical device development. And if you want to put the patient first, I think you should put the clinician at the center of what you do to help shape and guide your development. Starting with, are you identifying a problem that's worth solving, and does your approach make sense? Is it going to fit into the context of the healthcare system? Many different stakeholders that you have to think about, and that translates into constraints for your company and requirements for your development. So that's the first thing is, what's your target, and are you bringing clinicians into it? I think a second piece is, are you able to actually develop your vision? And Estefania referred to the technical side of it. So oftentimes a health tech startup is going to have like a clinician spark, a founder or someone who knows the clinical need quite well. And then you'll have a partner who is technically competent to drive it forward. So it has to be something that's needed and wanted. You have to have the ability to move it forward. And oftentimes Bessel can step in and fill that role. We have a very talented engineering team, and we have other resources that we bring to bear on projects. So we'll fill in the white space for a project team. And then the third piece is the ability to commercialize and to translate something from a concept or clean sheet of paper all the way to clinical and commercial success. I'm very proud of Bessel's track record in developing clinically and commercially successful technology. Remember that Bessel is scaling efforts that I've put in with many clients over 10 years in developing breakthroughs, which are clinically and commercially successful things that scale and not just impact many patients, but many thousands of patients. And then the third thing is, how do you work together, right? I think there's some fundamentals in teams and how they work. And I said, okay, I'll put my money where my mouth is, right? And every LinkedIn post, I try to give some tip that is very highly useful. So I'll just be specific for a team. I think the first thing is make sure the team is aligned with a common vision. What's your purpose? The next thing you should do is identify the guiding lights that you have in achieving that. If everybody understands what you're trying to do and a few ground rules that you can all make decisions, the next thing you can do is have clear roles and responsibilities, who's delivering what to the team, and how you all work together to get the most out of individual and team contributions. So I would say, here's my pro tips for teams that are trying to develop technologies. And this could be in medical devices, or it could be many of the other exciting startups that I see coming out of the El Paso, out of UTEP and this region, related to sustainability, agriculture, manufacturing. I think the first thing is make sure you've got a very clear vision in the problem you're trying to solve, and you all understand it together. And then the next thing is make sure that you put the right team together, and you all know who's responsible for which pieces of it. You trust each other, but you also listen to each other, and you are relentless. You use that word. It's a word that I like, because you need to be relentless. If you have a big vision, there's a big obligation to develop it. Be relentless in driving it forward. So those are my pro tips for teams, and it's something we put into practice on all of our projects. And as Estefania mentioned too, that teams actually know the answer, and they even know to do that. But if you get busy with the immediate deadlines and the urgency, it can be very hard to take a step back and reflect on what the most important things are and how you can actually get better, and put an opportunity for continuous learning and growth in your team, which brings continuous improvement to your development process, which actually gives you more breathing room as a team. And the pressure of deadlines and some artificial deadlines kind of goes away, and then you can focus on the vision and delivering that. So thanks for the opportunity to share that. I mean, that's my pro tips. I think I should just get up and walk away at this point.
Drops make. No, that's incredible. And I think that's such a great tip, because sometimes you get so overwhelmed with like deadlines, like you mentioned, and you don't focus like on your mission. You just like lose sight of that. So it's really important to ground yourself and kind of like get back to that. And I wanted to ask you both about any successful client that you've had recently, or any well, yeah, client that you want to share their success story with us and the audience.
I think we have a couple of success stories that we're very proud about. And I just want to focus on the success stories that are underway. This is kind of like a spoiler alert. And the first one that I wanted to share about is Tryon Concepts. This is the dental innovation co-founders who came to Bessel to be in essence, a third co-founder with technical expertise and company development and medical device development expertise. And this company is providing the opportunity for anyone who's self-conscious about their smile. And I would say, imagine you walk into a job interview and you're self-conscious about your smile. And it's something that if you share something naturally with me and I react with a smile, it creates a bond and trust and confidence between us. And if I don't, it creates a barrier. And that's an economic barrier, it's a social barrier. So we're providing the opportunity to affect that and bring a great smile to everyone who deserves one, which is all of us, through digital dentistry, 3D scan of the teeth, 5 minutes at the dentist, and 3D printing, and creating a smile that you can take home, take with you, and try it out with family, friends, and opportunities like job interviews or social settings, this kind of a thing. So I'm very proud about that, and the company is poised to become that public success story. We've got a lot of work to do. Right now, we've been working in an early access, having testers and working on real world settings. We'll be with our first dentist in the dentist office later this quarter, and moving into beta testing. So, here's a shout out. If you think this sounds interesting and you're like, hey, I would be interested to see what does this mean, look at tryonsmile.com and get in touch with us. We'll put up a place where you can sign up if you want to be considered for beta testing and share your stories about your smile and what you would like to achieve with the smile makeover and what it would mean to you, because we've been hearing many powerful stories from just the first 10 or 11 people that we've helped, and we see much more of that to come. That's the main one I'll focus on, and I'm looking forward to Veritech Medical and the breakthrough and breakout success that they'll have with Diego Fogel. And he's on a journey that's profound, and part of his journey has actually he's picked his company up and taken it with him while he does a master's degree in biomedical engineering and bioinnovation at the University of Wisconsin. So I miss him. We used to meet with him almost every week in person while he's here in El Paso. We still talk, but it's remote. I miss him. I miss what he's doing, but Bessel's actually supporting Veritech Medical, and I can't wait until he comes back to El Paso to scale it up here.
That would be incredible. And we should have him here on the podcast as well, so that he's going to be like in our list. With that being said, I wanted to ask you both, what is one tip that you guys would give to student entrepreneurs who are interested in this field?
I say believe in your vision and believe in yourself. It's never a wrong time to get started. You can always focus on your professional development, your skills, your tools, but you'll never quite be ready for everything that comes at you. And sometimes the only thing that you need is a belief in your vision and belief in yourself. You can find other folks that can help you at Studio G, with Bessel, or whatever resource you need. And Fanny, I don't know if you'd like to build on that.
Yeah, I think I will say that become a professional problem solver, because sometimes we're guiding by the books or by things that we read, but when we confront the real world, and especially on the professional side, we're always with challenges and you have to solve them, and that's a skill that it will lead you to a great professional life, a personal life, especially. You're not scared anymore about what obstacles might come. You just face them. And especially I think that's one thing that we can start developing since we are teenagers, or we are in our childhood. Start always trying to solve problems, and to not be afraid of failure. I think because we want things to be perfect all the time, but it's better to start and being continuous in the process than not starting at all because you want everything to be perfect. I think that will be my 2 cents.
That's so interesting because on the previous episode, we were actually talking about failure. And our guest speaker, he mentioned that it is always best to fail. Why? Because you learn so much from it. So I think that's great. And I am so content right now with the episode that we just created because you guys gave such great tips and our listeners are really going to benefit from them. So thank you. Thank you both so much for being here. It's truly an honor to have had you in the podcast, and we hope to see you guys soon in the next season.
Our pleasure, and we appreciate the opportunity to be here and to reach out to the community through this podcast. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks so much for this opportunity, and we hope to be here soon.
You guys will. You'll see. Studio G, the Mike Loya Center for Innovation and Commerce, and the Blackstone Launchpad wants to thank you, our listeners, for your constant support.
Stay tuned for our upcoming episodes and remember to always mind your business.
Okay, so hi guys. We're going to be talking today about Try and Smile. So we actually have a prototype with us right now. So Chris, can you show us what you have right next to you?
Yeah, awesome. So a Try on Smile is a way to give the power of a great smile to anyone who needs it. And we use digital dentistry and additive manufacturing or 3D printing to create it. And here you can see a Try on Smile that's on a 3D printed version of a smile. And this smile is me. It's my 3D scan. And I'm actually wearing my Try on Smile right now. And you can see it. I'll take it out in a second. You can be comfortable in any social setting.
That's incredible. And I have a question. Can we design our own smile or how does that work? Like, how does that come about?
You can design your smile by picking from the choices we have in our smile library. That includes the shape and style of the smile, whether you're more interested in a genuine smile, something that's more like an Instagram or glamorous smile. And then you can pick the shades and the overall look that you want. And then our smile designer actually starts with your scan and your pictures and will create the vision that you had when you picked from our choices online. We work with the dentist who will also help guide your decisions.
That's so incredible. I definitely do need one. So, for those listeners who are interested, where can we find Try and Smile?
I'd like you to come to tryonsmile.com. We'll put up a little area where you can sign up and request to be part of our early access testing program. We're almost complete with that and moving into beta testing. So depending on when you come and sign up, you can sign up for that, and then we'll contact you. We want to hear about what you're looking for. Why would you like the power of a great smile, and how can we help you do that? So I want to thank you, Mia, for being here to be able to share what we're working on. And I also want to take off my smile so you can see the difference it's made for me.
That's incredible. Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris, for being here. It's truly an honor to have you. And we got the first sight of Try and Smile, so it's truly an honor. Thank you.
With the Try on Smile, you can be comfortable in any social setting. You can talk, laugh. You can even eat and drink. We will advise you not to bite or chew with it, but it's really a great opportunity for people to transform their appearance. And working with their dentist, maybe it's something that they're going to build towards a more permanent solution, or just continue to use the Try on Smile. So I look forward to hearing from folks who are interested to try it out.
So remember to put on your Try and Smile.